Golly, we've been out here 30, 45 seconds actually fishing and already got one pretty fish in the boat. Gotta suck in because it's an extra medium. Jordan Sanders here, Ozark Outdoors. We are in Texas in the summertime. It is hot, we're trying to cool off. We came out to Bob Sandlin. We are gonna get some crappie in the boat today. Some sockeye, some white perch, whatever you wanna call them. We're gonna go out and try and catch as many as we can before our cameras overheat, my cameraman overheats, and I overheat. It's Texas, it's gonna be 100 degrees today. We have absolutely zero wind. We're gonna go out there and try and put them in the boat. For those that don't know, every bridge in Texas is a no-wake zone. That means slow your butt down, idle under here, enjoy the shade. Also, if you wanted to enjoy the shade, every one of these bridge pylons in Texas is gonna have crappie on it this time of year. Those pylons, they retain the cool, and those crappie are looking for cool water right now, as well as the shade. Jordan Sanders here, Ozark Outdoors. I have brought you to Lake Bob Sandlin here in East Texas. It's gonna be a summertime bite. Decided to break out that Ozark dock shooter. Let's talk a little bit about these Ozark rods. Right here, we got the 6-foot Ozark dock shooter. This is what I use for casting, of course, dock shooting. I put 4-pound fluoro on there. It's a stiff rod. It allows me to shoot it out there 50 foot and still manhandle that fish. We're gonna start the morning off pitching to fish that are suspended on timber. But as soon as that sun gets high up in the sky and it starts to get hot, we're gonna go look for some shade, just like the crappie are. Then we're gonna start dock shooting. It ought to be a fun trip. Stay tuned. Let's see how many crappie we can catch. Okay, we are hooked up already. Like, Bob Sandlin Lake is a beautiful fishery full of huge East Texas crappie. Out here we got both black and whites. Your blacks are gonna take advantage of these whitefish just because there's so many of them. Golly, we've been out here 30, 45 seconds actually fishing and already got one pretty fish in the boat. That one right there is gonna be a black crappie. I don't know, about 140, 130, 140. Just an overall solid summertime Texas fish. Let her go do her thing. So what I'm doing, I'm looking out on Livescope, live sonar. I think I've got it figured out now. We're looking out 70 foot. Right now we're fishing in 20 foot of water. These fish are gonna be suspended anywhere from 8 to about 18 foot down. Taking this Ozark dock shooter, have 4-pound fluoro on it with an 1/8 ounce jig head, and I'm pitching out a 1-inch ATX lure. I'm pitching it out, and then I'm gonna swim it right over their head and try and get reaction bites from them. These fish are just like us. When it gets hot, they get lethargic. I know whenever I'm working, I'm sweating, I don't wanna sit down and eat a cheeseburger. I wanna sit down, drink some water, cool off, and then maybe eat dinner after a while. That's the same thing these fish are thinking. When it's too hot, when that water temp is warm, they're just trying to chill out, they're lethargic. So you have to do something different to trigger those bites. Like that right there. That one, I bounced it on her head. Oh, that's a big white. That is a big white. I don't even know if I can flip that one. Oh, that was a huge white. I should have used that crappie monster net. Oh my goodness. That was a big fish right there. Oh my goodness, I'm heartbroken. Do I get to count that one? It wasn't in the boat, golly. She came up looking pretty. I'm only using 4-pound fluoros, so I knew better than trying to flip her in. It has too much stretch in it. I tried to flip her in and she popped off. It's ignorant of me. I've got a crappie monster net right beside me. Didn't even think about getting it. This one's gonna be 28 foot away from us, 11 foot down. Livescope's able to tell you things like that. We're pretty much going into these crappie's house and putting baits right on them to see if we can take them home with us. Oh, that was rude. We don't want that one. Her daughter followed us out. Her daughter is about 7 inches long. She might be legal next year, but as of right now, that's a case. Let me talk to Mama real quick. Come here, Mama. Oh, got her. Were y'all watching the way I was bouncing that rod? I had to do something to get her to wake up. Ugh. Well, mama, I told you. White crappie wanted it bouncing on her head a little bit. That is number 2 1/4 right there, 2 1/4. We caught her off of a tree. She's sitting 10 foot down. I put it on her 3 times now, 3 times. And the first 2 times, she didn't even look at it. That 3rd time, I bounced it on her head. She turned up aggressively and took a big old bite out of it. That's what we like to see. We need aggressive fish. That's number 2 1/4. And she didn't do a backflip. I give that dive a number 10. That's a green fish right there. That was one of them little old bass. Bob Sandlin is an awesome fishery for everything. Catfish, bass, crappie, anything you want, you can catch it out here. If you're just now learning Livescope, I'd say get out here, come catching, because there are fish everywhere. When it comes to fish identification, you can come out here and get a keen eye for what you're looking at. Oh, okay, she didn't want the old jiggy jig jig. So this is where your patience comes in. A lot of people hate Livescope. It just makes them jump in the boat. For me, I use it as a tool. You're only as good as your tools are. So I can see that that fish didn't like that jigging motion. She didn't even react to it. So now I'm just gonna kind of slowly reel it right over the top of her head, and we're gonna see if she likes that. So that one came right over her nose. She didn't want to move. So you use it to track fish behavior, is what you do. Why are they eating? Why are they here? What are they gonna do? Where are they gonna go? So I can tell there's 4 fish on this tree, and the one I want is very, very lethargic. So now I have to slow that rate of retrieval down. She doesn't want it moving. She wanted it to sit right on top of her. It's a good fish too. She wanted it to sit right on top of her. And as soon as I set that little 1 inch, I guess it looks like a bug to him, a little mayfly. As soon as I set that bug right on top of her, she smoked it. And that makes 3, and we are on to a good pace. It's still not 100 degrees. Check right there. There's the temperature. It's still not 100 degrees, but the fishing's on fire. But 5th time's the charm. Oh, golly. 4-pound mono and timber does not mix at all. At all. That's 2 so far that I've either broken off on or I've missed. Would you like a snack? I got her little sister. I think this one counts as a whole fish too. Look at this giant. Look at this giant. Get the net, get the net, get the net. Oh, we gotta get the net out. We gotta get that crappie monster out. Woo! 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 Look at, woo! That is a giant. That's a tournament winning fish right there. Oh my goodness, we put her on the hook. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Just a giant, giant East Texas fish right there. Yeah. Jeremy Mattingly, I'm coming for you. Sweet. Since we are in East Texas on Bob Sandlin Cypress Springs, the arsenal of choice does consist of an 1/8 ounce Guthrie tackle jig head. If you want your jig heads that'll stick these fish, the jig heads that the weights aren't gonna fall off, that the hooks aren't gonna bend out, definitely recommend you giving Guthrie a call. He will get it out almost the same day, if not the same day. I don't know why. Why are you just looking at it? What did I do to you? Oh, it was probably the hog call, the sweet. She didn't like that. We're in Texas. You gotta give them something like hook 'em. Yeah, they like to hook 'em. I tell you, I like it when I hook 'em too. We're gonna call that fish Bevo right there. Yeah, we're gonna call her Bevo. Whoa, 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 calm down. It's okay, it's all right. Calm down, calm down. I know. Got another Bob Sandlin fish. I think that's like 3 to 1, 4 to 1 on white crappie. White crappie to black crappie. Just another healthy fish. We're out here having a good time on Bob Sandlin. Sun's not up high enough for us to go to docks yet, but I know you'll be there later. I came out here today and all I did was look for timber. I was just looking for timber sticking out the water. I don't even have a lake map of this lake, so I couldn't tell you where the creek channel is, where the ledges are, where the points are. Well, I can tell you where the main lake points are, but I couldn't tell you where anything is that's submerged. We were just covering random water and looking for blobs on trees. I guess that's the 2024 way to do it, isn't it? Nope. Wow. It's a good fish. She is glowing down there, just like a pregnant lady. I'm hoping her belly's just like it. I want her to be about 9 months pregnant, even though we're in the summertime. Oh, got her sister. Got her sister. That's not the one I wanted. Her sister came up and she was trying to protect her. Sister came up trying to protect her. But look, I'm not gonna throw her sister back, because if I throw her back right now, she might go down there and tell her, hey, there's a bad man up there trying to do something to us. So I'm just gonna hold on to her for a little bit. Yep, see, that's what I'm talking about. Now I'll get rid of her sister. And I got Big Mama right there. See, we just had to get the sister out the way so we could get the mama. And she was eating good too. Another healthy fish. We're gonna let that white crappie go. And we're gonna continue on this hunt. I suggest you don't do that. I suggest you don't. You better not. I tried to tell you. Look, I want you to get bigger. I tried to tell this little thing. I wanted her to get bigger, not to hit my jig. But I guess that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to eat so that she can get a little bigger, gain a little weight. That right there is gonna be a 2-year-old fish, 2-year-old black crappie. And it's already 10 inches long. I can tell you next year, she might not get the same treatment. I'm gonna release her, but I don't know too many people that release these steaks like that. That's a valuable fish right there. She got lucky today. This fish right here is sitting 30 foot away from my trolling motor. She's sitting 14 foot down, and she is nose down, which means she has her nose facing down, just what it sounds like. But, oh my goodness, she caught me slipping right there. She caught me slipping. I bet you can't catch me slipping again. I bet you can't. Told you. I told you. Cause those mouths. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Now that right there is a giant summertime crappie that just got boat flipped with that Ozark rod. It's not the rod I was worried about. It's that 4-pound fluoro flipping in a 192-pound fish. That is a stud of a crappie. Absolute tank. Absolute tank. Ow. Their colors out here in East Texas, they are so pretty. For some reason, the nutrients in the water, I think it's either the nutrients or the water color itself, but it gives these crappie this yellow tint. That's just a whitefish right there, but she has a real yellow hue to her. Most of the time you only see it in blacks, which is look how pretty she is. She was nose down like this on that tree. Most of the time that means they're not gonna eat. They're trying to catch their breath, they're trying to regain some energy. If they're sitting nose up on a tree, that means they're looking for something. They're waiting for something to come across that tree so they can ambush it. That's why most of these fish are sitting on structure. They're sitting on structure so that it's an ambush point, so that they can hide from these bait fish, and as soon as something comes over their head, they're jumping up in there. You see what I did there? They're nose up on a tree, sitting behind it, and as soon as that bait comes up there, they're just ambushing it. Most people think crappie are bait fish. When they get this big, they turn into predators. Look, maybe she likes it shaking. She liked it shaking. I don't know if y'all saw that. Yeah! Woo! That one I couldn't just roll over her head. Couldn't do it. She didn't want to eat. I'm getting old. I had to take that rod. I had to. Whenever I did that, she turned up and ate it. Healthy fish. In summertime, you can't expect much, but you get a 1.5 pound, 2 pound fish in the boat. You got to think in the spawn, they're gaining a 1/2 pound, 3/4 of a pound. That's why we have so many healthy fish January through April. But after that, these fish are gonna be real skinny, real poor. They don't have anything in their belly besides their intestines and shad, whatever they're eating on. We're gonna let her go to let her grow. Maybe she'll be a 2-pounder next year. Put it on 3 fish and none of them wanted to eat. All right. I think it was just all about presentation, which is a big thing when it comes to using forward-facing sonar. You can't just drop a jig down there and expect to get hit. You gotta present the bait the way they wanna eat it. And every fish is gonna be different. That one wanted a slow little jig. That keep him out of that Ultrex Quest. Oh, she gonna give me a little flip. Gotta keep her out of that Ultrex Quest. Golly, I know some people probably think I'm out my mind, but I'm gonna throw that steak back. That's like a morsel of the sea right there. Gold. In freshwater at least. But the good thing about East Texas is you don't have to go far. We are fishing flooded forest. That's it. If you look around us, you have all these oak trees, all these willows, just all these different trees. Most of our lakes out here, they didn't clear any of it. They cleared what they had to build the dams, and that's about it. That's why we have such healthy fisheries. We have plenty of structure, we have plenty of bait fish, and then the number one thing is we have plenty of predator fish that can keep these crappie in check so that they don't stunt themselves and they don't overpopulate. Have you ever wondered why you can't buy crappie in the store? It's because you can't farm raise them. If you farm raise them, you have to have a huge pond to do it in, because once you get X amount, they just don't get any bigger. They'll all end up being 3 or 4 inches. The proper term is stunning. They stunt themselves. Compared to catfish, by the time they stunt themselves, they're already at that eating size. They're already at that 2-pound size. Once a crappie stunts itself at 3 or 4 inches, golly, you gotta have a lot of them to get even chicken nuggets off of them. Just like that. So if you were hungry, I do suggest you taking this Ozark 6-foot dock shooter, this 1/8 Guthrie tackle jig head, and this 1-inch ATX lure out to Bob Sandlin. That's 2 steaks right there. That'll feed you, and then you only have to catch 2 more to feed your family. That puts our count up high. Oh, and she gave me a little flip. There's a bass sitting on top of a crappie right here. It's a little bass. Maybe she identifies as a crappie. It's 2024. I'm gonna need the net for this one. I'm gonna need the net for this one. Or we'll just boat flip her. She got a belly on her for a summertime fish. Got a belly on her. You gotta do it just right. These crappie are very finicky on their uhs. Like I said, this is a pro tip right here. Pay attention. You gotta hit her with the then the gets you the And that's your Ozark Outdoors pro tip of the day. If you hit them with the you get pro tip. It's all about how you hold your mouth and how you vocalize. All right, so I want to catch one more fish, and then I'm about to show you how to turn the AC on when you're in Texas on a lake in the boat. We're gonna catch one more fish. One more. Ow, I got sweat in my eye. It is 8 o'clock in the morning, and I've got sweat in my eye. If that tells you anything about the heat we're dealing with today. It's gonna be like 110 degrees heat index. As long as you can withstand it, these crappie are gonna eat. That's a good fish too. Oh my goodness, that is I don't even know if I can boat flip that one. That's a true 2-pounder in the summertime. We're gonna try it. Oh, barely got her in. Let's go. That is a true 2-pound summertime Bob Sandlin fish. Fortunately enough, it's the last fish I was gonna catch before I show you how to turn the AC on out here in the summertime. Y'all stay tuned and watch this. I just gotta pack up the boat, gotta load that Ultra Exquest that I got from Texas Trolling Motor, gotta pick up those power brakes, and we're gonna turn the AC on. We're gonna go catch some more of these.